Lilith's name echoes through the corridors of ancient myth and history, a whisper of mystery that has intrigued and unsettled humanity for centuries. She's a figure who seems to defy easy definition, slipping through the cracks of religious texts and cultural lore like a shadow that refuses to be caught. Her story, told in fragments and whispers, has captivated those who seek to understand the deeper layers of our shared heritage. In the Bible's earliest chapters, where the world was still fresh and unformed, Lilith stands apart from the rest. She is often painted as the very embodiment of rebellion and independence. Unlike Eve, the well-known second wife of Adam, Lilith is said to have existed first, only to be cast aside. Her refusal to submit to Adam, to not be the passive companion, is what marks her as different. She chose freedom over subservience, a choice that led to her expulsion from Eden. Lilith's story is more than a mere legend, it's a poignant reflection on themes of autonomy and identity. In many ancient texts, she is not just a rebellious figure, but a symbol of what it means to be truly free. Her defiance is powerful because it questions the norms of her time and challenges the expectations placed upon women. In some traditions, she is viewed not as a villain but as a tragic hero, cast out because she dared to be herself. For centuries, Lilith's story has traveled through different cultures, each adding its own layers of meaning. In Jewish folklore, she transforms from a figure of myth into a symbol of darkness and danger, often associated with demons and the night. Her transformation into a night demon is a chilling reflection of the fears and anxieties of those who felt threatened by her independence. Her legend grew darker with each telling, but the core of her story remains the same, a woman who stood up for herself in a world that demanded compliance. In medieval Christian writings, Lilith's presence is less about the woman herself and more about what she represents. She becomes a tool in the narratives of temptation and sin, embodying the fears and moral anxieties of the time. Her role as a seductress or tempter reflects the ways in which societies have used her story to express their deepest fears about female power and sexuality. Yet, even in these darker depictions, there is an undercurrent of sympathy for Lilith. Her story resonates because it speaks to a universal experience, the struggle for self-worth and the pain of being misunderstood. She is often depicted as an outcast, a figure who, despite her strength, is left wandering alone. This portrayal stirs deep emotions in us, making Lilith a figure who embodies both strength and vulnerability. In contemporary times, Lilith has experienced a remarkable transformation. Once viewed solely through the lens of ancient fears, she has become a powerful symbol of feminist empowerment and self-determination. Her story is now embraced by many as a rallying cry for those who seek to break free from traditional constraints. Modern interpretations of Lilith celebrate her defiance and view her as a champion of women's rights and personal freedom. Lilith's influence extends beyond just mythology and literature, it reaches into the very fabric of how we understand and relate to ourselves and others. Her tale is a reflection of our collective struggle with conformity and individuality. It's about the painful choices we make, the battles we fight to stay true to ourselves, and the courage it takes to stand against overwhelming odds. Through the ages, Lilith has remained a figure of both fascination and controversy, her story touching on our deepest fears and highest aspirations. Whether viewed as a demon or a goddess, a villain or a hero, her legacy continues to provoke thought and stir emotions. Her presence in our cultural consciousness is a testament to the enduring power of myth to shape and reflect our understanding of the world. In the ancient world of Mesopotamia, where civilization first began to take shape, the air was thick with legends and myths that sought to explain the mysteries of life. Among these early stories, one figure stood out with a haunting presence, Lilith. Her origins are traced back to the earliest records of human history, and her story weaves through the tapestry of ancient beliefs with an eerie and captivating allure. In Mesopotamian mythology, Lilith was not yet the well-known figure of later traditions. Instead, she appeared as a mysterious and often unsettling spirit, connected to the forces of chaos and darkness. The people of ancient Mesopotamia lived in a world where the night was full of dangers and uncertainties. They believed that Lilith was a night demon, a creature that prowled in the shadows and preyed upon the unsuspecting. These ancient beliefs were shaped by a profound understanding of the natural world and the unknown. Mesopotamians revered their deities and feared the darker, uncontrollable forces of the universe. Lilith was one such force, a figure of fear and intrigue who represented the unpredictable and often terrifying aspects of life. She was believed to be a seductive entity, drawing men into her grasp and causing harm to women, especially those in childbirth. Lilith's image in Mesopotamian myths was not merely one of malevolence, but also a reflection of the anxieties and struggles of the time. Childbirth was fraught with danger, and many believed that supernatural forces could be responsible for the death of infants and mothers. Lilith became a symbol of these fears, embodying the terror of the unknown and the harsh realities of life in an era when survival was never guaranteed. As these early beliefs spread and evolved, they began to influence other cultures and traditions. The Mesopotamian stories of Lilith were absorbed into the surrounding civilizations, including the Hebrew traditions. The figure of Lilith, once a night demon in Mesopotamian lore, began to transform and take on new meanings as she entered into the rich tapestry of Jewish mythology. In these new cultural contexts, Lilith's image shifted from a terrifying spirit of chaos to a more complex and multifaceted character. Her rebellion against Adam, her exile, and her transformation into a figure associated with seduction and danger all find their roots in those ancient Mesopotamian tales. The fears and anxieties that Lilith embodied continued to resonate, taking on new forms and interpretations as her story spread through different cultures. The ancient Mesopotamians' portrayal of Lilith as a creature of the night speaks to the deep, primal fears that have always been a part of the human experience. Their myths, filled with vivid and often frightening imagery, were ways to make sense of the world around them, to explain the unexplainable and to cope with the fears that came with living in a harsh and unpredictable environment. These early stories of Lilith are more than just ancient myths, they are a window into the fears and hopes of our ancestors. They show us how deeply intertwined our understanding of the world and our cultural narratives have always been. The figure of Lilith, born in the shadows of ancient Mesopotamia, continues to captivate us, touching on the deepest parts of our collective psyche and inviting us to reflect on the nature of fear, power, and independence. The echoes of these ancient beliefs can still be felt today, reminding us of the enduring power of myth and the ways in which ancient stories shape our understanding of the world and ourselves. Lilith's journey from a Mesopotamian night demon to a symbol of rebellion and empowerment speaks to the lasting impact of these early myths and how they continue to resonate across time and cultures. In the ancient lands of Sumer and Babylon, where the first great cities rose from the dust of time, the myths that shaped their world were rich with wonder and mystery. Among the shadowy figures that lurked in their tales was Lilith, a name that conjures images of night and darkness, an enigma wrapped in ancient fears. In Sumerian mythology, Lilith's earliest appearances are as elusive and chilling as the night itself. She is often associated with the night and is seen as a dangerous spirit who roams the dark. In these stories, Lilith was believed to be a type of demon who preyed upon pregnant women and newborns. Her presence in these myths was a reflection of the deep-seated anxieties of a people who faced life and death struggles daily. To them, Lilith was more than just a mythical figure, she was a personification of their darkest fears. One of the most haunting images of Lilith in Sumerian texts is that of a female demon who brings misfortune. She is depicted as a fierce, almost predatory figure, prowling through the night, searching for those who are vulnerable. This portrayal captures the essence of fear that was so prevalent in ancient societies, where the safety of the home and the health of newborns were seen as fragile and constantly under threat. Lilith, with her eerie presence, embodies the dread of an unseen threat that lurks just beyond the edge of light. As these stories traveled and evolved, they found a new home in Babylonian mythology. In Babylon, Lilith's role expanded and became even more complex. She was associated with the goddess of the night, known as Lamashtu, who shared similar characteristics. Like Lilith, Lamashtu was a demoness who haunted the night, bringing illness and death to children and pregnant women. The Babylonian myths painted a vivid picture of Lamashtu as a creature with the body of a woman but the face of a lioness, a terrifying blend of human and beast that made her all the more fearsome. In Babylonian texts, Lilith is not just a figure of dread but a symbol of the chaotic forces that existed beyond human control. Her image reflects the broader fears of a society that faced frequent hardships and uncertainties. The myths describe her as a being who defied the boundaries between the known and the unknown, moving through the dark spaces that were both literal and metaphorical. These early depictions of Lilith reveal a profound sense of fear and vulnerability. In a world where every shadow could conceal a danger and every night might bring unforeseen threats, Lilith became a personification of those fears. She was a figure who embodied the anxieties of the ancient people, a reminder of the dark forces that lurked at the edges of their understanding. Lilith's presence in these ancient myths also reflects the role of women in Sumerian and Babylonian societies. Her character was not merely a reflection of fear, but also a symbol of the way women were perceived in these cultures. As a night demon who could bring harm, Lilith's myth may have been used to explain and cope with the real dangers that women faced, especially during childbirth, a time when mortality was high and many felt helpless against the forces of nature. These early texts capture the essence of Lilith as a figure who was both feared and fascinating. She was a symbol of the darkness that lay beyond the safety of the known world, a being who represented the fears and uncertainties of life in the ancient Near East. Her story, as told by the Sumerians and Babylonians, is a reflection of the deep human emotions that have always accompanied the struggle to make sense of the world. In these ancient myths, Lilith emerges as a powerful and unsettling figure. Her presence in the Sumerian and Babylonian texts is a testament to the ways in which myth and fear intertwined to create stories that spoke to the deepest anxieties of the time. Her legacy, shaped by the darkness and danger of the ancient world, continues to resonate, reminding us of the profound ways in which ancient fears and beliefs have influenced the stories we tell about ourselves. In the quiet stillness of ancient scriptoria, where the earliest scribes penned their sacred texts, Lilith's story took on new dimensions. As her legend crossed into Hebrew traditions, it transformed from a night demon into a figure of profound significance, her character evolving in ways that would shape her legacy for centuries to come. In the Hebrew texts, Lilith's emergence is marked by a striking shift. Gone is the shadowy, predatory figure of the Mesopotamian myths. Instead, she becomes intertwined with the very fabric of creation and the complex dynamics of human relationships. The Hebrew tradition recasts Lilith not merely as a frightening spirit, but as a being whose story is interwoven with themes of power, defiance, and separation. The transformation begins subtly. Lilith appears first in ancient Jewish folklore, her image growing more detailed and nuanced. She is introduced as the first wife of Adam, a figure who challenges the traditional roles assigned to women. According to these tales, Lilith was created at the same time as Adam, from the same earth. This creation from the same substance was meant to signify equality. Yet, it is this very equality that becomes the source of tension. Lilith's refusal to be subservient is a crucial moment in her story. Unlike Eve, who was created later from Adam's rib and is seen as a companion to him, Lilith's insistence on being equal leads to a dramatic fallout. The texts describe her departure from the Garden of Eden, a powerful act of rebellion against a system that demanded her submission. Her leaving is not just a physical departure but a symbolic one, reflecting a profound estrangement from a world that could not accept her autonomy. As Lilith's legend weaves through Hebrew tradition, she becomes a complex figure, both feared and misunderstood. In some texts, she is depicted as a demon who endangers infants and women in childbirth. This portrayal taps into ancient fears and the deep anxieties surrounding motherhood and the vulnerability of newborns. Lilith's role as a threat to children echoes the same fears that haunted earlier mythologies, but now she is cast in the role of a tragic, if malevolent, figure. Her character also evolves to embody the fears and moral concerns of a new era. In the Talmud and various mystical writings, Lilith is often portrayed as a succubus, a female demon who preys on men. This transformation into a seductress who lures men into danger reflects the growing anxieties about female power and sexuality. Lilith's story becomes a cautionary tale, warning against the dangers of female independence and the potential consequences of defying societal norms. Despite these darker interpretations, Lilith's story also resonates with themes of personal strength and resilience. Her refusal to be dominated and her subsequent exile from Eden can be seen as a reflection of a struggle for identity and self-worth. In many ways, Lilith becomes a symbol of resistance against oppressive structures, representing the pain and courage involved in standing up for oneself in a world that demands conformity. In the Hebrew tradition, Lilith's evolution also reflects broader cultural and theological shifts. Her character moves from being a night demon to a symbol of rebellion and independence. This transition captures the growing complexities of how people viewed gender roles, power dynamics, and individual agency. Lilith's story becomes a mirror reflecting the fears and hopes of a society grappling with the boundaries of authority and autonomy. As her legend continues to evolve, Lilith's presence in Hebrew texts becomes a powerful symbol of the intersection between myth and human experience. She embodies the struggles of those who seek to break free from the constraints imposed upon them, resonating deeply with anyone who has ever faced the challenge of asserting their own identity in the face of overwhelming pressure. In these ancient texts, Lilith's transformation from a night demon to a figure of defiance is a testament to the enduring power of myth to capture the complexities of human experience. Her story, with all its twists and turns, reflects the ongoing struggle for recognition, respect, and the right to live freely and authentically. Through her evolving legend, Lilith continues to speak to the universal themes of power, resistance, and the search for self amidst the shadows of tradition and expectation. In the shadowed corridors of ancient Jewish mysticism, Lilith's presence emerges with a haunting intensity, revealing layers of meaning that resonate deeply with the struggles and mysteries of the human soul. Her role in early Jewish mystical texts, particularly in the Kabbalah, paints her as a figure of both fear and fascination, embodying the complex interplay of darkness and light. Within the intricate symbols and esoteric teachings of Kabbalah, Lilith is more than just a figure of malevolence. She represents a force that disrupts and challenges the spiritual order. The Kabbalistic texts, with their dense and arcane language, cast Lilith as a powerful, rebellious entity who embodies chaos and the darker aspects of existence. She stands in stark contrast to the divine light, representing forces that resist and challenge the sacred harmony of the cosmos. In these mystical writings, Lilith is often associated with the Qliphoth, the dark, impure shell that contrasts with the divine Sphirot, the emanations of God's light. The Qliphoth is described as a realm of spiritual impurity and chaos, and Lilith, as a prominent figure within it, embodies the forces that oppose the divine order. Her presence in this context is both unsettling and illuminating, revealing the complexities of the spiritual struggle between light and darkness. Lilith's role in the Kabbalah is particularly poignant when considering her connection to the Shekinah, the divine feminine presence. The Shekinah represents the nurturing, protective aspect of God, a force of divine love and compassion. Lilith's opposition to this divine presence highlights the tension between purity and corruption, order and chaos. This struggle reflects the broader spiritual conflict within the human soul, where light and darkness are in constant interplay. The Kabbalistic texts also describe Lilith as a figure who seduces and corrupts, drawing individuals away from spiritual purity. She is portrayed as a force that tempts and distracts, leading souls into spiritual disarray. This characterization echoes ancient fears and anxieties about female power and sexuality, casting Lilith as a seductress who represents the perils of succumbing to base desires and spiritual distractions. Yet, there is also a deeper, more nuanced aspect to Lilith's role in Jewish mysticism. Her presence in the Kabbalah is not solely about opposition and corruption, but also about the necessity of confronting and understanding the shadow aspects of existence. Lilith embodies the challenges and struggles that are an inherent part of the spiritual journey. Her role as a force of disruption and chaos forces individuals to confront their own inner darkness and to seek a deeper understanding of themselves and the divine. Lilith's depiction in these mystical texts is both haunting and profound, reflecting the ancient belief that spiritual growth often involves facing and integrating the darker aspects of the self. Her story is a powerful reminder of the complexities of the human experience, where light and darkness are intertwined, and where spiritual growth requires acknowledging and confronting the shadows that dwell within. In the mystic teachings of the Kabbalah, Lilith emerges as a symbol of the profound and often painful journey towards spiritual enlightenment. Her presence challenges individuals to confront their fears and to seek a deeper, more authentic connection with the divine. Through her role as a disruptor and a seductress, Lilith becomes a figure of both caution and revelation, reminding us of the deep and often unsettling truths that lie beneath the surface of our spiritual and emotional lives. In the dimly lit corners of ancient texts, a story unfolds that is as compelling as it is tragic, the tale of Lilith, the first wife of Adam. This legend, both haunting and profound, touches on themes of power, defiance, and separation, and it resonates with an emotional intensity that has captured imaginations for centuries. According to ancient tradition, Lilith was created alongside Adam, from the same earth. Unlike Eve, who was fashioned from Adam's rib, Lilith's creation was meant to symbolize equality. They were made from the same material, signifying that they should be equal partners. But this equality is precisely what led to their dramatic and painful conflict. Lilith's story begins with her refusal to submit to Adam. The myth tells of her insistence on being his equal, rejecting the idea that she should be subordinate to him. This refusal was not merely a matter of pride, but a profound assertion of her own identity and autonomy. Lilith's desire to remain equal, to not be dominated or controlled, was so strong that it drove her away from Eden. The tension between Lilith and Adam grew as they struggled over their roles. Adam, embodying the established order, could not accept Lilith's insistence on equal status. Their disagreements escalated until Lilith made the heart-wrenching decision to leave the Garden of Eden, a place of paradise that she could not enjoy in a relationship that demanded her submission. As Lilith departed from Eden, she was cast into the world outside, a place that was both alien and harsh. Her exile from paradise was not just a physical removal, but a profound emotional and existential separation from the divine harmony she once knew. This exile marked the beginning of her transformation into a figure associated with darkness and danger, a symbol of rebellion and discontent. Lilith's departure from Eden set off a chain of events that led to her becoming a figure of both fear and fascination. In some traditions, she was seen as a demoness, a creature of the night who posed a threat to newborns and women in childbirth. Her story took on a darker hue, reflecting the fears of a society that viewed her defiance as a dangerous and corrupting force. Yet, there is also a poignant aspect to Lilith's legend. Her refusal to be controlled and her subsequent exile from Eden reflect a deep and painful struggle for self-determination and recognition. Lilith's story speaks to the universal experience of seeking one's own identity and autonomy, even in the face of overwhelming opposition. As the legend of Lilith and Adam continued to evolve, different cultures and traditions added their own interpretations and variations. In some versions of the myth, Lilith's rebellion was not just about her relationship with Adam, but also about broader themes of gender and power. Her story became a symbol of the struggle for equality and respect, resonating with those who have faced similar battles in their own lives. Lilith's legend also touches on the pain of being misunderstood and cast out. Her departure from Eden was not just a physical journey, but an emotional and spiritual exile, a separation from a world that could not accept her for who she was. This aspect of her story makes Lilith a figure of both tragedy and strength, a reminder of the cost of standing up for oneself and the profound loneliness that can come with it. Through the ages, the story of Lilith and Adam has remained a powerful and evocative tale. It captures the essence of rebellion and the search for identity, reflecting the deep emotional currents that run through human experience. Lilith's struggle against Adam's dominance and her subsequent exile from paradise are both heartbreaking and inspiring, a testament to the enduring power of her legend to touch the hearts and minds of those who hear it. In the echoes of ancient legends, the story of Lilith's rebellion and exile unfolds with a dramatic intensity that strikes at the heart of human struggles for autonomy and respect. Lilith, created as Adam's equal, found herself in a relentless conflict that would shape her fate in ways that would resonate through the ages. Lilith's rebellion against Adam is not merely a tale of discord, but a profound clash of ideals and identities. When Adam and Lilith were first created, they were made from the same earth, symbolizing equality. Yet, this shared origin became the very source of their conflict. Lilith's insistence on standing as Adam's equal, refusing to submit to him, ignited a fierce struggle. The heart of Lilith's rebellion lay in her refusal to be subservient. She demanded equality, not only in name but in practice, which Adam could not accept. Their disagreements were not just about household roles, but about the very nature of their existence. Lilith's insistence on being an equal partner rather than a subordinate reflected her deep sense of self and her refusal to be diminished. This defiance was perceived as a direct challenge to the established order, leading to a confrontation that neither could resolve. The turning point in Lilith's story was her dramatic departure from the Garden of Eden. Her exile was not simply a banishment but a profound emotional and spiritual severance from a world she had hoped would be a paradise. Her decision to leave was born from a heart-wrenching realization that she could not thrive in an environment that demanded her submission. Leaving Eden was a painful choice, one that signified not only a physical departure but a deep sense of rejection and loss. As Lilith stepped beyond the boundaries of Eden, she faced a world that was both harsh and unforgiving. Her exile marked her transformation into a figure of myth and legend, embodying the consequences of defiance against a world unwilling to accept her for who she was. The wild, untamed world she entered became a symbol of her struggle and the harsh reality of living outside the paradise she had once known. The variations of Lilith's story across different traditions and interpretations add layers to her legend. In some accounts, Lilith's rebellion is seen through a moral lens, where her defiance is portrayed as a moral failing. In these versions, her refusal to submit is interpreted as a sin, casting her in the role of a villain or a demoness. This interpretation highlights the tensions between individual autonomy and societal expectations, framing her rebellion as a transgression that leads to her punishment. Other interpretations present Lilith in a more sympathetic light. Her rebellion and subsequent exile are seen as a tragic struggle for personal dignity and equality. In these versions, Lilith's departure from Eden is not just an act of defiance, but a courageous stand for her own identity and worth. Her story becomes a powerful symbol of the pain and loneliness that can accompany the fight for self-respect and autonomy in the face of overwhelming opposition. Throughout these variations, Lilith's exile stands as a poignant reminder of the cost of standing up for oneself. Her departure from Eden symbolizes the painful consequences of defying a system that demands conformity and submission. Her story captures the profound emotional and spiritual journey of facing rejection and forging a new path, even when it leads to a harsh and unwelcoming world. Lilith's rebellion and exile evoke a deep emotional resonance, reflecting the universal struggle for identity and respect. Her story is a testament to the enduring human experience of seeking to live authentically and the profound challenges that come with defying established norms. In her legend, there is both tragedy and strength, a reflection of the deep emotional currents that run through the human struggle for self-determination and dignity. In the ancient texts of the Talmud and Midrash, Lilith's presence emerges with a haunting depth that captures the imagination and stirs the soul. These references offer glimpses into a figure who transcends simple myth and becomes a symbol of deeper spiritual and moral themes. Within the Talmudic literature, Lilith is mentioned as a shadowy and unsettling presence. The Talmud, a central text of Rabbinic Judaism, refers to her in a way that evokes both fear and intrigue. Lilith is depicted as a demoness who endangers newborns and pregnant women. This portrayal reflects the anxieties of a society deeply concerned with the vulnerabilities of childbirth and the safety of the most fragile members of the community. In this light, Lilith's role is not merely as a figure of malevolence, but as a symbol of the unseen fears that loom over the tender beginnings of life. In the Talmud, Lilith is described as a creature with long hair and a fearsome appearance, lurking in the shadows to harm those who are vulnerable. This image of her as a night-dwelling demoness contributes to the deep-seated fears of her time, highlighting the terrors that were part of daily life. Lilith's presence in these texts is a reminder of the ancient struggle against forces perceived as threatening the well-being of the innocent. The Midrashic literature expands on these themes, offering further insights into Lilith's character and role. The Midrash, a collection of ancient rabbinic commentaries on the Hebrew scriptures, presents Lilith in ways that both echo and deepen the Talmudic portrayal. In the Midrash, Lilith's rebellion against Adam is highlighted as a pivotal moment. Her refusal to be submissive and her subsequent departure from Eden are portrayed as acts of profound defiance and independence. This narrative emphasizes the emotional and spiritual turmoil that accompanies her story, presenting her not only as a demoness but as a figure of intense personal struggle and courage. One particularly striking reference in the Midrash describes Lilith as a symbol of chaos and impurity. Her role in this context is to embody the disruptive forces that challenge the harmony and order of the divine creation. The Midrashic texts depict her as a being who represents the dangers of defying the divine will and the consequences of stepping outside the boundaries set by God. This portrayal adds a layer of moral and theological complexity to Lilith's character, suggesting that her rebellion and subsequent exile are not merely personal failures but significant events with cosmic implications. The emotional depth of Lilith's story in the Talmud and Midrash is underscored by the way she is described as a figure who embodies both fear and defiance. Her presence in these texts reflects the deep anxieties of ancient Jewish communities and their struggles with themes of purity, power, and independence. Lilith's role as a demoness who poses a threat to the vulnerable is a poignant reminder of the fears that plagued the ancient world, while her rebellion against Adam and her subsequent portrayal as a figure of chaos highlight the complexities of human emotions and moral struggles. Lilith's depiction in the Talmud and Midrash serves as a powerful narrative that resonates with the deep emotional currents of fear, defiance, and the search for identity. Her story captures the profound struggles of those who confront overwhelming challenges and seek to assert their own sense of self and purpose. Through these ancient texts, Lilith emerges as a figure who embodies the complex interplay of fear and strength, a symbol of the profound human experience that continues to echo through the ages. In the shadowy corners of medieval Jewish texts and folklore, Lilith emerges as a figure of profound mystery and dread. Her presence in these works reflects a complex blend of fear, fascination, and a deep-seated struggle with themes of power and morality. In medieval Jewish thought, Lilith's story takes on a life of its own, evolving into a figure both feared and pitied. The medieval period adds layers to her legend, shaping her into a symbol of darker, more enigmatic forces. This period is marked by a growing emphasis on her role as a demoness, an embodiment of chaos and danger. Medieval Jewish texts, such as the Zohar and other Kabbalistic writings, portray Lilith in increasingly sinister terms. She is described as a night demon who preys on pregnant women and newborns. These texts reflect deep anxieties about childbirth and the fragility of life, capturing the fears that surrounded the most vulnerable moments in human existence. Lilith's role as a threat to the innocent underscores the era's preoccupation with supernatural forces and the need to protect against unseen dangers. In these medieval accounts, Lilith is often depicted as a seductive and malevolent figure. Her long hair and haunting beauty are portrayed as tools of temptation and danger. This portrayal feeds into the broader cultural fears of female power and sexuality, casting Lilith as a symbol of the dangers that lie in unchecked desire and rebellion against established norms. The image of Lilith as a temptress who leads men astray reflects the anxieties about female independence and the perceived threats it posed to social and religious order. Yet, medieval Jewish folklore also presents Lilith in a more nuanced light. She is sometimes depicted as a tragic figure, whose actions stem from a profound sense of alienation and loss. Her exile from Eden and her subsequent transformation into a demoness are portrayed as consequences of a deep and painful struggle for identity and recognition. This view adds a layer of sympathy to her character, suggesting that her malevolence is rooted in her own suffering and rejection. In some medieval texts, Lilith's legend is intertwined with mystical and magical practices. She becomes a central figure in spells and rituals aimed at protecting against her malevolent influence. Amulets and incantations designed to ward off Lilith are evidence of the widespread belief in her dangerous powers and the desire to protect oneself from her harm. These practices reflect the deep-seated fear of Lilith and the lengths to which people were willing to go to ensure their safety from her perceived threats. The portrayal of Lilith in medieval Jewish thought also reflects broader themes of morality and power. Her role as a demoness who challenges the divine order and preys on the vulnerable makes her a potent symbol of the dangers of defiance and rebellion. Her story becomes a powerful allegory for the consequences of stepping outside accepted boundaries and the struggles that accompany such acts of resistance. In these medieval texts, Lilith's character is both terrifying and tragic. Her evolution from a figure of rebellion to a demoness reflects the deep fears and moral concerns of the time, capturing the complexities of human experience and the ongoing struggle with themes of power, identity, and morality. Lilith's presence in medieval Jewish thought serves as a reminder of the enduring power of myth to evoke deep emotions and reflect the profound challenges of the human condition. In the vibrant tapestry of the Renaissance and early modern period, Lilith emerges as a figure reimagined and revived with striking intensity. This era, brimming with intellectual and artistic upheaval, redefined Lilith's character in ways that would forever alter her place in mythology. During the Renaissance, a time when classical and medieval ideas were being re-examined, Lilith's story began to shift. Scholars and artists turned their attention to her, not just as a demoness but as a symbol of deeper themes. The Renaissance fascination with humanism and the exploration of individual identity cast Lilith in a new light. She was seen less as a mere figure of evil and more as a complex embodiment of female strength and defiance. This period marked a significant transformation in her portrayal, turning her into a figure of both fear and empowerment. In artistic depictions from this time, Lilith is often portrayed with an alluring and dangerous beauty, a striking contrast to the more monstrous images of earlier periods. Renaissance artists were captivated by her role as a seductress, using her image to explore themes of temptation and moral struggle. These portrayals were not merely about depicting her as a threat, but also about capturing the dramatic tension between desire and danger. Lilith became a canvas for exploring the darker aspects of human nature and the moral dilemmas that accompany it. As the early modern period unfolded, Lilith continued to evolve. Her role in literature and folklore began to reflect the changing attitudes toward women and power. In the works of writers and thinkers of the time, Lilith was often cast as a tragic figure, embodying the struggle against societal constraints. Her story was interpreted as a tale of resistance and the search for autonomy, resonating with the broader cultural movements that were questioning traditional norms and roles. The early modern period also saw Lilith's association with witchcraft and the occult gain prominence. In the witch hunts and trials that marked this era, Lilith was often invoked as a symbol of the dangers associated with female power and independence. Her name became synonymous with the fears of the time, reflecting anxieties about women who defied social expectations. This period's depiction of Lilith as a witch or sorceress highlights the deep-seated fears of female agency and the lengths to which society would go to control and suppress it. The transformation of Lilith during the Renaissance and early modern periods is also tied to the broader exploration of the human psyche. Her story began to be seen as a reflection of the inner conflicts and struggles of individuals. Lilith's rebellion and subsequent fall were interpreted as metaphors for personal and spiritual crises, resonating with the era's fascination with the complexities of human nature. Her character became a symbol of the inner turmoil and existential challenges faced by those who dared to confront societal and spiritual boundaries. In literature from this period, Lilith's story is imbued with a poignant sense of tragedy and resilience. Her departure from Eden and her subsequent transformation into a demoness are depicted not just as punishments but as profound consequences of her quest for selfhood. This interpretation adds depth to her character, portraying her as a figure who endures suffering and isolation in her pursuit of identity and autonomy. The Renaissance and early modern portrayals of Lilith are a testament to the enduring power of myth to evolve and reflect the changing concerns of society. Her image as a seductive, powerful, and tragic figure captures the complex emotions and moral questions of the time. Through art, literature, and folklore, Lilith's character is redefined as a symbol of the struggles between personal desires and societal expectations, embodying the profound and often painful search for self-understanding and freedom. In the shadows of Western esoteric traditions and occultism, Lilith emerges as a figure of profound complexity and mystique. Her role in these traditions is a captivating mix of reverence and fear, reflecting a deep-seated fascination with her as a symbol of forbidden knowledge and hidden power. In Western esoteric thought, Lilith is often seen as a potent symbol of rebellious strength and dark wisdom. The occultists and mystics who engage with her legend view her not just as a demoness, but as a figure of enlightenment and liberation. Lilith represents the untamed aspects of human nature, the parts of the psyche that challenge societal norms and seek deeper truths beyond conventional boundaries. Her story resonates with those who explore the hidden aspects of existence and strive to uncover what lies beyond the veil of ordinary reality. In some esoteric traditions, Lilith is associated with the mystical and magical practices that seek to harness her unique energy. She is seen as a powerful archetype of female empowerment and spiritual autonomy, a symbol of the feminine force that defies subjugation and embraces its own strength. This interpretation of Lilith reflects a fascination with the balance between light and darkness, and the idea that true understanding comes from confronting and integrating the shadow aspects of the self. Lilith's role in occult practices often involves rituals and symbols aimed at invoking her power or gaining insight into the deeper mysteries of the universe. In these practices, Lilith is not merely a figure of malevolence but a guide to hidden knowledge and spiritual awakening. She is invoked in rites that seek to break through conventional limits and reach new levels of consciousness. Her presence in these rituals underscores her role as a bridge between the known and the unknown, the seen and the unseen. The allure of Lilith in Western esoteric traditions is also tied to her association with forbidden knowledge and the pursuit of hidden truths. She embodies the quest for wisdom that lies beyond the constraints of traditional teachings. This quest often involves exploring themes of darkness and chaos, which are seen as necessary components of personal and spiritual growth. Lilith's story is interpreted as a reflection of the journey into the unknown, embracing the darkness to find illumination and self-realization. In these traditions, Lilith's character is imbued with a sense of tragic grandeur. Her rebellion and exile are viewed not just as consequences of defiance, but as expressions of her deep, unfulfilled quest for identity and understanding. This portrayal highlights the emotional depth of her struggle, casting her as a figure who endures great suffering in her pursuit of self-knowledge and spiritual freedom. The Western esoteric traditions also explore Lilith's connection to the primal forces of nature and the cosmos. She is often linked to the moon, the night, and the wild, untamed aspects of existence. This connection reflects a belief in the cyclical and transformative power of these elements, and Lilith's association with them emphasizes her role as a guardian of the ancient and primal energies that drive creation and destruction. Her image as a figure of night and chaos is a powerful reminder of the natural forces that lie beyond human control and understanding. In the context of Western esoteric traditions, Lilith is both a symbol of rebellion and a source of profound insight. Her role as a figure of darkness and defiance is balanced by her association with hidden wisdom and spiritual empowerment. Through these traditions, Lilith's character continues to evoke deep emotional responses, capturing the tension between the known and the unknown, the controlled and the wild. Her presence in occult practices and mystical thought underscores the enduring allure of her legend and the profound impact she has on those who seek to explore the depths of human experience and the mysteries of existence. Lilith's haunting presence has left an indelible mark on literature and art through the centuries, transforming her from a shadowy figure of myth into a powerful symbol of rebellion, desire, and mystery. Her story, brimming with defiance and tragedy, has captivated artists and writers, each generation reimagining her in ways that resonate deeply with their own fears and dreams. In medieval literature, Lilith is often portrayed as a seductress and a temptress, reflecting the era's complex views on female power and sexuality. Her image as a demoness who preys on newborns and pregnant women captures the fears of vulnerability and danger in a world fraught with uncertainty. In these early texts, Lilith embodies the primal fears associated with childbirth and female independence, often depicted with a blend of beauty and menace that makes her both alluring and terrifying. Her appearance in works like the Alphabet of Ben Sira reinforces her role as a dark and seductive figure, a symbol of both temptation and the consequences of rebellion. The Renaissance brought a fresh perspective to Lilith, transforming her into a figure of artistic and intellectual fascination. Artists of this period were drawn to her as a symbol of untamed female power and sensuality. In paintings and drawings, Lilith is often depicted with striking beauty, her allure accentuated by her dangerous nature. The Renaissance fascination with humanism and the exploration of individual identity led to representations of Lilith that emphasized her as a powerful and defiant figure. Her image became a canvas for exploring themes of temptation, rebellion, and the complexity of human desires. As the Enlightenment and Romantic periods emerged, Lilith continued to evolve in literature and art. Romantic poets and writers, captivated by the themes of forbidden knowledge and the sublime, saw Lilith as a symbol of tragic defiance and untamed passion. In literature from this era, Lilith is portrayed as a tragic heroine, her rebellion against Adam and her subsequent fall depicted with a poignant sense of loss and yearning. This portrayal emphasizes the emotional depth of her struggle, framing her as a figure who endures suffering in her quest for personal freedom and self-realization. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, Lilith's image continued to transform, reflecting the shifting cultural attitudes toward gender and power. In literature and art, she is sometimes depicted as a feminist icon, embodying the struggle for women's rights and autonomy. Her story is reinterpreted as a narrative of resistance against patriarchal oppression, with Lilith standing as a symbol of strength and courage in the face of injustice. This reinterpretation adds a layer of empowerment to her character, framing her rebellion as a powerful assertion of her own identity and worth. The 20th century saw Lilith's portrayal in modern and contemporary art and literature, where she is often depicted as a figure of complex psychological depth. Modern interpretations explore her as a symbol of the inner struggles and conflicts faced by individuals seeking to break free from societal constraints. Artists and writers portray Lilith with a sense of raw emotion and introspection, emphasizing the personal and existential dimensions of her story. In these representations, Lilith becomes a mirror for the modern soul's quest for meaning and authenticity, her character reflecting the ongoing struggle for self-understanding and liberation. In recent decades, Lilith has continued to inspire artists and writers who seek to explore themes of power, identity, and transformation. Her image as a figure of dark beauty and fierce independence remains a powerful symbol in contemporary culture. Through literature and art, Lilith's story is reimagined and reinterpreted, reflecting the evolving concerns and aspirations of each generation. Her presence in these works captures the enduring allure of her legend and the profound emotional resonance of her struggle for selfhood and autonomy. Lilith's representation in literature and art across the centuries reveals a deep and evolving fascination with her character. From her early depictions as a figure of menace and temptation to her modern portrayals as a symbol of empowerment and self-discovery, Lilith's story continues to captivate and inspire. Her presence in these creative expressions underscores the powerful impact of myth and the ways in which it reflects and shapes our understanding of the human experience. In the echoing chambers of feminist theology and modern reinterpretations, Lilith stands as a symbol of profound significance and empowerment. Her story, once shrouded in fear and darkness, is now illuminated as a beacon of defiance and strength. Her journey from a demoness of ancient myths to an icon of feminist ideals reflects a powerful transformation, one that resonates deeply with the quest for gender equality and personal autonomy. For centuries, Lilith was cast as a figure of menace, her name associated with dark forces and rebellion. But in the eyes of modern feminist thinkers, Lilith's tale has taken on a new light. Far from being merely a symbol of danger, she is now seen as a pioneering figure who challenges the boundaries imposed by a patriarchal world. Her refusal to submit to Adam and her subsequent exile are reinterpreted not as acts of defiance, but as courageous assertions of her own identity and rights. In feminist theology, Lilith is celebrated as an emblem of female independence and strength. Her story is viewed through a lens that recognizes her struggle not as a fall from grace, but as a powerful assertion of her own autonomy. By rejecting submission and demanding equality, Lilith becomes a hero for those who feel constrained by traditional roles and expectations. Her character is embraced as a symbol of resistance against oppressive structures and an advocate for a more inclusive and equitable understanding of gender roles. This reinterpretation of Lilith's story is deeply emotional, resonating with anyone who has felt marginalized or constrained by societal norms. Her journey from the Garden of Eden, where she was cast out for her refusal to conform, to her transformation into a figure of mythic power, is seen as a reflection of the struggles faced by many women throughout history. In reclaiming Lilith, feminist thinkers and activists find a powerful symbol of their own fight for recognition and equality. The modern feminist view of Lilith also highlights the ways in which her story challenges the stereotypes of female behavior. Rather than being portrayed as a mere temptress or demon, Lilith is now seen as a figure who embodies the complexity and depth of female experience. Her story is not just about rebellion but about the courage to seek one's own path and the strength to stand firm against societal pressures. In this light, Lilith's character becomes a source of inspiration and empowerment for those who strive to break free from restrictive roles and create their own destinies. Lilith's significance in feminist interpretations extends beyond her role as a symbol of resistance. She is also seen as a reminder of the importance of acknowledging and valuing diverse voices and experiences. Her story challenges the dominant narratives that have long excluded or marginalized certain perspectives, advocating for a more inclusive and understanding approach to gender and identity. By embracing Lilith's legacy, modern feminist thought calls for a re-examination of traditional narratives and an affirmation of the strength and dignity of those who have been historically overlooked. The emotional impact of Lilith's story in feminist contexts is profound. Her struggle and subsequent empowerment resonate with the deeply personal experiences of many women and marginalized individuals who have fought for their rights and recognition. Lilith's journey from a figure of fear to a symbol of empowerment reflects a broader struggle for justice and equality, making her a powerful icon in the ongoing quest for social change. In literature, art, and theology, Lilith's role as a feminist icon continues to evolve, reflecting the changing attitudes toward gender and power. Her story is reimagined and celebrated as a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the power of defiance. Through this modern lens, Lilith's legacy is transformed from one of darkness and fear to one of hope and resilience, embodying the enduring struggle for freedom and equality. In the heart of contemporary media and popular culture, Lilith emerges as a figure who continues to captivate and provoke. Her presence in films, television, music, and literature is a testament to her enduring power and relevance. From being a symbol of dark allure to a beacon of female empowerment, Lilith's portrayal reflects the diverse and shifting concerns of modern society. In movies and television shows, Lilith often appears as a complex character embodying both allure and danger. She is frequently depicted as a seductive and enigmatic figure whose very presence challenges traditional norms. These portrayals highlight her as a powerful and rebellious character who defies conventional boundaries. The dark, mystical quality surrounding Lilith in popular media taps into deep-seated fears and fascinations with the unknown, making her a compelling figure in narratives that explore themes of power, temptation, and transformation. In literature and graphic novels, Lilith's character is reimagined to reflect contemporary issues and concerns. She often appears as a symbol of resistance against oppression, embodying the struggle for autonomy and self-definition. Authors and creators use Lilith to address themes such as personal freedom, societal constraints, and the quest for identity. Her story becomes a lens through which modern audiences can examine their own struggles with authority, identity, and self-expression. Through these narratives, Lilith resonates with readers who see in her a reflection of their own battles and aspirations. Music, too, embraces Lilith's rich and evocative imagery. Songs and albums inspired by Lilith often explore themes of rebellion, empowerment, and the search for personal truth. Her character is frequently used to symbolize the fierce and unyielding spirit of those who challenge societal expectations. The emotional depth of her story provides a powerful backdrop for music that seeks to inspire and evoke a sense of strength and determination. Lilith's presence in music highlights her role as an enduring icon of defiance and self-empowerment. The portrayal of Lilith in popular culture also reflects the broader cultural shifts and conversations around gender and identity. She is sometimes depicted as a feminist icon, her character reimagined to emphasize themes of empowerment and resistance against patriarchal norms. These modern interpretations challenge traditional narratives and offer a more nuanced view of Lilith as a symbol of strength and autonomy. By redefining her character in contemporary media, creators tap into ongoing discussions about gender roles and the fight for equality, making Lilith a relevant and powerful figure in the cultural zeitgeist. In popular culture, Lilith's image is both a source of fascination and a subject of debate. Her duality as a figure of both allure and danger mirrors the complexities of contemporary attitudes toward female power and independence. She is portrayed as a character who embodies the tension between embracing one's desires and facing societal judgment. This duality makes her a compelling and emotionally resonant figure, capturing the struggles and triumphs of those who navigate the fine line between personal freedom and societal expectations. The impact of Lilith in popular culture is also evident in the way she inspires and influences audiences. Her character evokes strong emotional responses, from fear and fascination to admiration and empowerment. Through her appearances in various forms of media, Lilith continues to resonate with those who see in her a reflection of their own desires and struggles. Her portrayal in contemporary culture serves as a reminder of the enduring power of myth and its ability to speak to the deepest parts of our collective psyche. In the ever-evolving landscape of popular culture, Lilith remains a figure of powerful and emotional resonance. Her portrayal in media and literature reflects the ongoing fascination with her character and the ways in which her story continues to inspire and provoke. As a symbol of rebellion, desire, and empowerment, Lilith's presence in contemporary culture underscores her enduring relevance and the profound impact of her mythological legacy on modern audiences. In the tapestry of mythological tales, Lilith weaves a dark and intriguing pattern, but she is far from alone in her domain. Across cultures and traditions, similar figures emerge, each one embodying elements of fear, allure, and mystery. Comparing Lilith to figures like Lamia and Succubi reveals striking similarities and differences that underscore universal themes of power, temptation, and rebellion. Lilith's story begins with her refusal to submit to Adam, casting her into exile and transforming her into a symbol of defiance and independence. This archetype of the rebellious female, marked by both beauty and danger, echoes in the myth of Lamia. In Greek mythology, Lamia was once a beautiful queen who became a monster after losing her children to Zeus's jealous wife, Hera. Consumed by grief and rage, Lamia was transformed into a demon who preyed on children, reflecting a tragic shift from a figure of nurturing motherhood to one of deadly vengeance. Both Lilith and Lamia share the motif of a maternal figure corrupted by loss or betrayal. They are depicted as predatory beings, embodying the fear of female power that turns against societal norms. Their stories speak to the anxieties surrounding female autonomy and the perceived threat of women who defy traditional roles. Lamia's transformation into a child-stealing monster parallels Lilith's evolution into a demoness who targets pregnant women and infants, highlighting a shared theme of maternal figures turned monstrous due to betrayal and loss. Similarly, the succubi of medieval European folklore provide another point of comparison. These female demons were said to visit men in their dreams, seducing them and draining their life force. Like Lilith, succubi are associated with sexual desire and danger. Their seduction is a form of power that can be both alluring and destructive. The succubus's role as a seductress mirrors Lilith's depiction as a temptress who disrupts the traditional boundaries between good and evil. Both Lilith and succubi challenge the norms of sexuality and female behavior. They represent the fear of female sexuality that defies societal control, embodying the trepidation that arises when women exert their own desires and power. The succubus, with her ability to manipulate and seduce, reflects a similar sense of danger associated with Lilith's own seductive nature. Both figures blur the lines between power and peril, illustrating the discomfort with female autonomy and sexual agency. Yet, While Lilith, Lamia, and succubi share common elements, they also differ in their narratives and cultural roles. Lilith's myth is rooted in the early Jewish tradition, where she is portrayed as an early wife of Adam who refuses to be submissive, leading to her expulsion. Her story speaks to themes of independence and rebellion against male authority. In contrast, Lamia's mythological background is steeped in Greek mythology and tragedy, focusing on the transformation from grief-stricken queen to vengeful demon. Her story is more about loss and revenge, reflecting the tragic consequences of divine retribution. The succubus, emerging from medieval European folklore, represents a more structured fear of female sexuality and the dangers of unrestrained desires. Unlike Lilith and Lamia, the succubus is less about personal rebellion and more about the moral dangers posed by uncontrolled female sexuality. Her narrative is tied to the fears of a male-dominated society that viewed female sexual power as a threat to both individual and societal stability. The emotional resonance of these figures is profound. Lilith's defiance and subsequent demonization evoke sympathy for her struggle against oppressive norms. Lamia's tragic transformation touches on the pain of loss and the destructive power of grief. The succubus, with her seductive allure, represents the complex interplay of desire and danger, reflecting deep-seated fears about female sexuality and power. Through these comparative myths, we see how Lilith, Lamia, and succubi reflect universal themes of power, desire, and the fear of the other. Their stories intersect in their portrayal of female figures who challenge conventional roles, yet each narrative brings its own cultural context and emotional depth. Lilith's story, rich in themes of rebellion and independence, stands alongside these figures, revealing the enduring fascination and anxieties surrounding powerful female figures in myth and folklore. In a world where voices are often silenced and dreams stifled, Lilith stands as a defiant and powerful symbol of female empowerment. Her story, which once cast her as a figure of darkness and rebellion, has transformed into a beacon of resistance and strength. As we look at how Lilith has evolved, her tale becomes not just a myth, but a rallying cry for those who seek to break free from the constraints imposed upon them. Lilith's narrative begins with her refusal to accept a subordinate role. Her story is not merely one of being cast out, but of choosing to leave a situation where she felt her spirit could not be fully expressed. This act of defiance is a powerful declaration of self-worth and independence. Her decision to reject submission to Adam and to embrace her own path reflects a deep-seated desire for equality and respect, themes that resonate strongly with modern ideals of female empowerment. In the eyes of many, Lilith's exile from Eden is not just a tale of punishment, but a profound statement about the strength required to stand up for oneself. Her willingness to face the unknown rather than accept a role that diminishes her is a testament to her courage. This courage has become a touchstone for those who feel oppressed or marginalized, representing the strength to challenge and redefine their circumstances. As the myth of Lilith has been reinterpreted over time, she has come to symbolize the fight for gender equality and personal freedom. In feminist theology and modern reinterpretations, Lilith is celebrated as a figure who embodies the struggle against a system that seeks to constrain and control. Her story speaks to the heart of the quest for autonomy and the right to live one's life on one's own terms. The emotional power of Lilith's transformation into a symbol of empowerment lies in her ability to resonate with those who see their own struggles mirrored in her story. Her journey from being labeled a demoness to being embraced as a champion of self-determination reflects the broader fight for gender equality. For many, Lilith represents the possibility of overcoming barriers and finding strength in the face of adversity. Her presence in literature, art, and popular culture underscores her role as an enduring symbol of resistance. In these expressions, Lilith is often portrayed as a powerful figure who challenges norms and defies expectations. Her story, once a source of fear, now inspires admiration and respect. The emotional depth of her character, marked by her struggle and ultimate triumph, provides a source of inspiration for those who seek to assert their own power and agency. Lilith's significance as a symbol of female empowerment also highlights the changing perceptions of women's roles in society. Her story challenges the traditional narratives that have sought to confine and diminish women's contributions and potential. By reclaiming Lilith's legacy, modern interpretations affirm the value of female strength and resilience, offering a powerful counter-narrative to historical attempts to silence and subjugate women. In essence, Lilith's journey from a figure of darkness to a symbol of empowerment is a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit. Her story resonates with those who have faced their own struggles and challenges, offering a powerful reminder that true strength lies in the courage to stand up for oneself and to forge one's own path. Lilith's legacy as a symbol of female empowerment continues to inspire and uplift, embodying the spirit of resistance and the quest for equality. Lilith's story stirs a complex blend of emotions and theological debates across different religious traditions. Her tale, from defiance to exile, has profound implications for how we understand creation, authority, and the nature of evil. Each tradition interprets her story in ways that reveal deep-seated beliefs and concerns about gender, power, and divine order. In Jewish theology, Lilith's story is more than just a myth. It's a profound challenge to the traditional understanding of gender roles and divine authority. When Lilith refuses to submit to Adam, her rebellion questions the established order of creation. Her story implies that creation was not perfect and that the dynamics between men and women could be more complex than initially portrayed. This refusal to conform to the expected role of subservience makes Lilith a symbol of both defiance and independence. Her story asks uncomfortable questions about the nature of authority and the legitimacy of roles assigned by tradition. In Christianity, Lilith's role is less central but still significant. Her absence from the canonical texts and her portrayal in later Christian traditions reflect broader themes of control and the nature of sin. The Christian interpretation often focuses on her as a figure of temptation and evil, drawing a stark line between the acceptable and the forbidden. Her story can be seen as a reflection of the fear of female power and autonomy, emphasizing the dangers of challenging established religious norms. This portrayal aligns with traditional Christian views that seek to keep female power within rigid boundaries, reinforcing the dichotomy of good versus evil in a way that maintains traditional gender hierarchies. Islamic tradition also has its take on Lilith, though she is not a prominent figure in the Quran or Hadith. In some Islamic folklore, Lilith is seen as a jinn or a spirit, embodying the dangers of disobedience and temptation. The Islamic view often focuses on her as a warning rather than a central figure of theological debate. Her story in this context reinforces the idea of divine justice and the consequences of defying divine will. It reflects a broader concern with maintaining moral and spiritual order and the role of women within that framework. In Gnosticism, Lilith's story takes on a different hue. Gnostic texts often portray her as a figure of wisdom and rebellion, challenging the Creator's authority and questioning the nature of divine creation. In this tradition, her defiance is not necessarily seen as evil but as a critical stance against a flawed or oppressive creation. Gnostics view her rebellion as an act of liberation and enlightenment, reflecting their belief in a higher, hidden truth beyond the material world. This perspective casts Lilith as a symbol of the quest for spiritual knowledge and the courage to confront established dogmas. Across these traditions, Lilith's story is more than just an ancient myth. It's a powerful lens through which we can examine deep-seated beliefs about power, gender, and morality. Her defiance against Adam and her subsequent demonization challenge the very foundations of religious authority and gender roles. In each tradition, her story prompts reflection on the nature of obedience, authority, and the consequences of challenging established norms. Lilith's theological implications resonate deeply with the struggle for personal freedom and the questioning of traditional roles. Whether seen as a symbol of rebellion, temptation, or enlightenment, her story continues to provoke thought and inspire debate. It reflects the enduring tension between maintaining order and embracing change, between accepting prescribed roles and fighting for one's own path. Imagine a figure who stands defiant against the norms of her time, challenging the very fabric of accepted roles. Lilith, in her mythic rebellion, does more than defy Adam. She becomes a symbol of the struggle over gender and sexuality that resonates through the ages. Her story has not only captivated imaginations, but has also profoundly influenced how societies perceive gender roles and sexual freedom. Lilith's refusal to submit to Adam's authority and her subsequent exile speak volumes about the power dynamics between men and women. Her tale, often depicted as one of punishment and demonization, actually illuminates the deep-seated fears and tensions surrounding female independence and sexual autonomy. By refusing to be the subordinate partner, Lilith challenges the traditional gender hierarchy, making her a symbol of resistance against patriarchal structures. Her myth has stirred conversations about female power and sexuality, highlighting the discomfort with women who assert their own desires and autonomy. In traditional narratives, Lilith's transformation into a demoness reflects the anxiety of a society that views female independence as dangerous. This portrayal often emphasizes the fear of women who defy expected roles, reinforcing a narrative that punishes nonconformity. Yet, for many, Lilith's story is an inspiration, representing the courage to stand up against oppressive norms and to claim one's own identity. The impact of Lilith's myth extends beyond ancient texts and religious teachings. Her story has found a place in modern discussions about gender dynamics, influencing feminist thought and the broader dialogue on sexual freedom. Lilith's defiance resonates with contemporary movements that advocate for gender equality and the right to self-determination. Her figure has become a powerful symbol of women's struggles to break free from restrictive roles and to assert their own desires and identities. In literature and art, Lilith is often portrayed as a complex and multifaceted character. These portrayals reflect changing attitudes toward female power and sexuality. Where once she was seen as a demonic figure, contemporary interpretations highlight her as a symbol of strength and autonomy. These modern representations challenge traditional stereotypes and celebrate the rebellious spirit of Lilith, inspiring new ways of thinking about gender and power. Lilith's influence is also evident in how societies grapple with issues of sexual freedom and gender roles. Her story, with its themes of defiance and independence, serves as a powerful counterpoint to traditional narratives that seek to control and limit female expression. By reclaiming Lilith's legacy, individuals and movements highlight the importance of personal agency and the right to challenge societal norms. The emotional depth of Lilith's story, her struggle against a system that seeks to confine her, strikes a chord with those who face similar battles for autonomy and respect. Her tale becomes a metaphor for the broader fight against gender inequality and the quest for sexual freedom. The symbolism of Lilith transcends her mythological origins, offering a powerful lens through which to examine and challenge contemporary gender dynamics. As a symbol of resistance and empowerment, Lilith continues to inspire those who seek to redefine gender roles and embrace their own identities. Her impact on perceptions of gender and sexuality is profound, reflecting both the anxieties and aspirations of societies across time. Lilith's story, with its emotional resonance and themes of defiance, remains a powerful force in the ongoing conversation about gender equality and sexual freedom. In the swirl of modern storytelling and cultural analysis, Lilith has emerged not just as a relic of ancient myths, but as a potent symbol of transformation and defiance. Contemporary reimaginings of her character breathe new life into her story, casting her in roles that resonate deeply with today's struggles for empowerment, equality, and personal autonomy. In recent years, Lilith has shed her former image as merely a demonic figure of darkness and rebellion. She is now frequently portrayed as a complex and multifaceted character, reflecting the growing desire to see female figures not just as symbols of defiance, but as embodiments of strength and individuality. Modern interpretations often highlight her as a heroine in her own right, a figure who challenges and redefines the boundaries imposed upon her. Literature and art have embraced this evolved portrayal of Lilith. In contemporary novels, she is often depicted as a powerful, independent woman who stands against oppressive systems. These portrayals transform Lilith's story from one of exile and punishment into a narrative of self-discovery and resilience. Authors and artists use her story to explore themes of personal freedom, rebellion against unjust norms, and the courage to follow one's own path, no matter the cost. Television and film have also played a significant role in reshaping Lilith's image. Modern adaptations frequently cast her as a character who is not only formidable but also deeply relatable. By reinterpreting Lilith's struggle and independence, these media portrayals make her story relevant to contemporary issues, such as gender equality and personal agency. Lilith's character is often shown overcoming challenges that echo the struggles faced by many today, making her a symbol of modern resistance and empowerment. In the realm of popular culture, Lilith has become an icon of female strength and autonomy. Her image has been redefined to represent not just rebellion but also the transformative power of self-assertion. This shift reflects broader societal changes where individuals seek to break free from restrictive norms and embrace their true selves. Lilith's story, once a cautionary tale, now inspires those who fight for their rights and strive to reshape their own destinies. Art and music also reflect this modern reinterpretation of Lilith. Her figure appears in contemporary works that explore themes of liberation and self-empowerment. These creative expressions highlight her as a source of inspiration for those who resist traditional constraints and seek to redefine their own roles in the world. The emotional depth of these modern portrayals resonates with audiences, reflecting a shared desire for greater freedom and personal authenticity. The modern reimaginings of Lilith underscore the ongoing evolution of her story and its significance. No longer confined to her ancient portrayal, Lilith has become a powerful symbol of modern struggles for equality and self-expression. Her character's transformation from a figure of exile to one of strength and defiance reflects a broader cultural shift towards recognizing and celebrating the power of individuals to challenge and change the world around them. As we look at contemporary portrayals of Lilith, it is clear that her story has evolved into something far more meaningful than a mere myth. She represents the ongoing fight for personal freedom, equality, and the courage to defy oppressive norms. Through these modern interpretations, Lilith continues to inspire and empower, embodying the spirit of resilience and the quest for a more just and equitable world. Picture a world where ancient myths and modern spirituality intertwine, creating a tapestry of beliefs and practices that reframe traditional stories. In this vibrant landscape, Lilith emerges not as a figure of fear, but as a powerful symbol of empowerment and transformation. In New Age and neo-pagan practices, Lilith takes on a new role, one that resonates deeply with contemporary seekers of spiritual and personal freedom. In these modern spiritual traditions, Lilith is often embraced as a goddess or a powerful feminine archetype. Far from her historical image as a demoness or outcast, she is celebrated as a symbol of strength, independence, and wisdom. New Age practitioners and neo-pagans view her through a lens of reverence, focusing on her qualities of resistance and autonomy rather than her past portrayal as a rebellious figure. For many in the New Age community, Lilith represents the reclaiming of feminine power and the pursuit of spiritual enlightenment. Her story is interpreted as one of breaking free from oppressive structures and embracing one's true self. She is seen as a guide for those seeking to explore and embrace their own inner strength and potential. By invoking Lilith, practitioners connect with the essence of personal empowerment and the courage to stand up for one's beliefs and desires. In neo-pagan rituals and practices, Lilith is often associated with themes of transformation and renewal. Her role as a figure who defies traditional norms makes her a potent symbol for those seeking to challenge the status quo and explore new ways of living and believing. Rituals that honor Lilith might focus on personal growth, breaking free from limiting beliefs, and embracing one's inner power. Her presence in these practices serves as a reminder that true spiritual fulfillment comes from embracing one's authentic self and living courageously. The celebration of Lilith in these spiritual traditions also highlights a broader shift towards inclusivity and diversity in religious practices. By reinterpreting Lilith's story and integrating her into their practices, New Age and neo-pagan communities make space for a wider range of experiences and perspectives. This embrace of Lilith reflects a growing recognition of the importance of feminine energy and the need to honor and explore all aspects of the self. In art and literature associated with these practices, Lilith is often depicted as a powerful and majestic figure, embodying the qualities of wisdom, strength, and independence. Her image is used to inspire and empower, resonating with those who seek to connect with a deeper sense of purpose and self. Through these creative expressions, Lilith's legacy is transformed from one of exile and punishment to one of celebration and reverence. The integration of Lilith into New Age and neo-pagan practices also reflects a desire to reconnect with ancient wisdom and explore spiritual paths that honor the divine feminine. Her story is seen as a bridge between ancient myths and contemporary spiritual practices, offering insights into the power of personal transformation and the importance of embracing one's own path. By reimagining Lilith's role and celebrating her in modern spiritual contexts, practitioners create a space for exploring and honoring the full range of human experience. Lilith becomes a beacon of hope and empowerment, guiding those who seek to break free from conventional constraints and embrace their own unique journey. Her presence in these practices is a testament to the enduring power of ancient myths to inspire and transform in new and meaningful ways. Imagine the haunting echo of an ancient myth resonating within the corridors of the human psyche. Lilith, once cast out and vilified, emerges in modern psychology not just as a figure of folklore but as a profound symbol of internal conflict and transformation. Her story touches on deep, universal themes that speak to the heart of human experience, providing a mirror to our own inner struggles and aspirations. From a psychological perspective, Lilith's character is often seen as a representation of the shadow self, the parts of ourselves that we might reject or suppress. Her rebellion against Adam and her subsequent exile symbolize the struggle between conforming to societal expectations and embracing one's true, often hidden, self. Lilith's story can be interpreted as a powerful reflection of the internal battles many face when striving to assert their identity in the face of external pressures. Lilith's defiance and subsequent isolation can be understood as metaphors for personal empowerment and the psychological journey toward self-acceptance. Her refusal to submit to Adam's dominance is a powerful statement about asserting one's autonomy and individuality. In this light, Lilith embodies the psychological process of individuation, where one confronts and integrates aspects of oneself that have been marginalized or denied. Her story becomes a narrative of reclaiming power and self-worth in the face of adversity. For many, Lilith's story resonates with the experience of being cast aside or misunderstood. Her exile represents the pain of rejection and the struggle to find one's place in a world that often demands conformity. This aspect of her myth can deeply touch those who have felt marginalized or alienated, offering a sense of solidarity and hope. Lilith's journey is a reminder that feeling isolated or misunderstood can be a step toward personal growth and self-discovery. In contemporary psychological thought, Lilith's role also touches on themes of empowerment and liberation. Her transformation from a figure of darkness to a symbol of strength reflects the journey of overcoming internalized limitations and embracing one's full potential. Psychologists might see Lilith as a representation of the inner strength needed to break free from restrictive beliefs and societal expectations, encouraging individuals to explore their own path and assert their true selves. Moreover, Lilith's story speaks to the complexity of human relationships and the struggle for balance between dependence and independence. Her myth can be viewed through the lens of relational dynamics, highlighting the challenges of negotiating power and intimacy in relationships. Lilith's refusal to accept subservience and her ultimate departure can be seen as a metaphor for the psychological need to establish boundaries and assert personal autonomy within relational contexts. In art and literature inspired by psychological interpretations, Lilith often emerges as a complex figure, neither purely good nor purely evil, but a reflection of the multifaceted nature of the human psyche. Her portrayal in these mediums can evoke deep emotional responses, as she embodies the internal conflicts and struggles that many face. Her character becomes a poignant symbol of the journey towards self-realization and the courage required to confront and embrace one's inner truth. The psychological exploration of Lilith's character reveals a rich tapestry of meanings and insights. Her myth offers a profound understanding of the human experience, touching on themes of empowerment, identity, and relational dynamics. By examining Lilith through a psychological lens, we gain a deeper appreciation of her story as a powerful metaphor for personal growth and the quest for self-acceptance. Her journey from exile to empowerment reflects the enduring struggle to reconcile inner conflicts and find one's true self amidst the complexities of life. In the dim light of ancient rituals and hidden knowledge, Lilith emerges as a figure both feared and revered. Her name echoes through the chambers of occult practices, carrying with it an aura of mystery and power. Her association with the occult speaks to a tradition where the lines between darkness and enlightenment blur, where her story transforms into a potent symbol of forbidden wisdom and hidden forces. Lilith's journey into the realm of the occult is marked by her portrayal as a powerful and enigmatic figure. In many esoteric traditions, she is seen not merely as a demon or a figure of evil, but as a representation of deeper, often suppressed aspects of existence. The occult, with its emphasis on hidden knowledge and spiritual mysteries, finds in Lilith a symbol of the unknown and the mysterious, embodying the dualities of creation and destruction, light and shadow. Within occult practices, Lilith is often associated with themes of feminine power and independence. She represents a force that defies conventional norms, embodying the archetype of the rebel who challenges established orders. Her connection to the occult emphasizes her role as a figure who transcends the ordinary, tapping into deeper layers of reality and consciousness. This view transforms her from a mere mythological character into a powerful symbol of esoteric wisdom and hidden truths. Occult traditions frequently explore Lilith as a symbol of empowerment and transformation. Her story, marked by her rebellion and subsequent exile, resonates with themes of personal and spiritual awakening. In this context, Lilith becomes a guide for those seeking to understand the hidden aspects of themselves and the world around them. Her presence in occult practices encourages individuals to confront their own inner shadows and embrace the full spectrum of their being, including those parts that society often discourages or condemns. In rituals and invocations, Lilith is often called upon for her transformative energy. Practitioners of the occult may invoke her name to seek clarity, empowerment, or insight into hidden truths. Her association with dark aspects of existence is not seen as something to be feared, but rather as a source of profound wisdom and strength. This perspective highlights her role as a guide through the labyrinth of the self, helping individuals navigate the complexities of their inner world and uncover deeper spiritual truths. Lilith's influence extends into the symbolism of occult imagery and practices. She is frequently depicted as a powerful and alluring figure, embodying both beauty and danger. This duality reflects the occult belief in the integration of opposites and the acceptance of the shadow side of existence. Her image in occult art and literature often captures the tension between light and darkness, portraying her as a figure who transcends conventional boundaries and explores the depths of human experience. The association of Lilith with the occult also reflects a broader fascination with the hidden and the arcane. Her story and symbolism serve as a reminder of the mysteries that lie beyond the surface of everyday life, encouraging practitioners to explore and embrace the unknown. Her role in occult traditions underscores the belief that true knowledge and understanding come from confronting and integrating the darker aspects of existence, rather than avoiding or denying them. As a figure within the occult, Lilith represents a powerful force of transformation and enlightenment. Her story challenges conventional notions of good and evil, offering a perspective that embraces the complexities of existence and the interplay of light and shadow. Through her association with the occult, Lilith becomes a symbol of the profound and often unsettling journey towards self-discovery and spiritual awakening. Her presence in these practices speaks to a deeper understanding of the world and ourselves, revealing the hidden dimensions of reality and the transformative power of embracing the full spectrum of human experience. In the flickering candlelight of modern witchcraft, Lilith stands as a beacon of fierce independence and transformative power. Her presence in contemporary rituals and practices is a testament to her enduring significance, symbolizing a connection to deeper truths and personal empowerment. As a figure who defied the constraints of her time, Lilith's influence in modern witchcraft is profound, reflecting her role as a powerful icon of both spiritual rebellion and enlightenment. Lilith's role in modern witchcraft is deeply intertwined with her representation as a symbol of female strength and autonomy. In a world where historical narratives often sought to suppress female power, Lilith emerges as a figure of defiance and self-assertion. Modern witches honor her as a goddess of independence, using her story to reclaim and celebrate the power that was historically denied to women. Her defiance against Adam and her subsequent exile become metaphors for breaking free from societal expectations and embracing one's true self. In rituals, Lilith is invoked for her transformative energy. Practitioners call upon her to aid in personal empowerment, to break through barriers that hold them back, and to embrace their full potential. Her name is whispered in ceremonies aimed at self-discovery and healing, as her story represents the journey of overcoming adversity and finding strength in one's own identity. Lilith's role in these practices highlights her connection to the deep, often untapped sources of personal power that lie within each individual. Modern witchcraft often uses Lilith's symbolism to explore and embrace the shadow aspects of the self. Her character embodies the qualities that are sometimes rejected or feared: strength, independence, and sexuality. By invoking Lilith, practitioners seek to confront and integrate these aspects into their lives, recognizing that true empowerment comes from accepting and understanding the parts of themselves that have been hidden or repressed. Lilith's story becomes a powerful tool for personal growth, encouraging individuals to face their fears and embrace their inner power. Her influence extends beyond personal empowerment to encompass broader themes of social justice and equality. Lilith's narrative resonates with those who seek to challenge and dismantle systems of oppression. In modern witchcraft, her story is a rallying cry for those who fight for gender equality and social change. Rituals dedicated to Lilith often include affirmations of resistance and the pursuit of justice, reflecting her role as a symbol of rebellion against unjust structures and an advocate for the marginalized. The rituals and practices involving Lilith are also characterized by a deep reverence for the cycles of nature and the mysteries of life. Her connection to the natural world is celebrated in ceremonies that honor the changing seasons, the cycles of the moon, and the rhythms of the earth. Lilith's role in these rituals underscores her association with the primal forces of nature and the deep, intuitive wisdom that comes from living in harmony with the natural world. In modern witchcraft, Lilith's image is often intertwined with elements of mysticism and the occult. Her portrayal as a figure of hidden knowledge and esoteric wisdom reflects her role as a guide to deeper spiritual truths. Rituals involving Lilith may include elements of divination and introspection, inviting practitioners to explore the hidden dimensions of their own consciousness and the universe. Her presence in these practices signifies a quest for understanding beyond the surface, tapping into the profound mysteries that lie beneath everyday life. The rituals honoring Lilith are marked by a sense of reverence and respect for her complex and multifaceted nature. She is seen not as a mere symbol, but as a living force that can offer guidance, support, and insight. Modern witches approach her with a deep sense of connection and gratitude, recognizing her role in their spiritual journey and personal development. Her influence in contemporary practices reflects a broader movement towards embracing and celebrating the full spectrum of human experience, including the aspects that are often hidden or marginalized. In the vibrant tapestry of modern witchcraft, Lilith stands as a powerful symbol of empowerment, transformation, and connection to deeper truths. Her role in rituals and practices reflects her enduring significance as a figure of strength and autonomy, guiding practitioners on their journey towards self-discovery and personal empowerment. Through her influence, modern witchcraft embraces the complexities of the human experience, celebrating the strength and wisdom that comes from confronting and integrating all aspects of the self. In the quiet moments of reflection, Lilith's story pulses with a raw, profound energy that resonates deeply with those who seek understanding beyond the ordinary. Her tale, woven through ancient texts and modern reinterpretations, speaks to a powerful mix of rebellion, resilience, and the quest for self-identity. To many, Lilith is not just a character from myth, but a symbol of personal struggle and liberation, a mirror reflecting the complexities of our own lives. Lilith's story is a haunting echo of the struggle for autonomy in a world that often seeks to confine and control. Her refusal to submit to Adam and her subsequent exile can feel like a powerful cry for freedom in the face of oppression. In personal reflections, Lilith represents the courage it takes to defy societal norms and claim one's own path. Her rebellion against Adam is a testament to the strength it takes to stand firm in one's beliefs and values, even when faced with exile and judgment. For many, Lilith embodies the spirit of challenging unjust systems and forging a new way forward, no matter the cost. Her character resonates profoundly with those who have faced their own battles for self-assertion. Lilith's journey from a figure of defiance to one of empowerment mirrors the personal struggles many face when asserting their own identities in a world that often imposes limits. Her story becomes a source of inspiration for those who find themselves in situations where they must fight for their own truth. It is a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there is strength in standing up for oneself and embracing one's true nature. The various interpretations of Lilith's character offer a rich tapestry of meanings that can be deeply personal. Some see her as a symbol of feminine power and independence, a beacon for those who seek to break free from traditional roles and expectations. Her story is a celebration of the power of female energy and the right to define one's own path. For others, Lilith represents the struggle with internal and external conflicts, the journey of reconciling the parts of ourselves that society often asks us to hide or suppress. Her narrative resonates with the emotional complexity of navigating personal challenges and finding a place of acceptance and strength. In modern contexts, Lilith's significance is amplified by the growing movement towards acknowledging and embracing diversity in all its forms. Her role as a symbol of resistance and empowerment aligns with contemporary efforts to challenge outdated norms and celebrate individual differences. Lilith's story reflects a broader cultural shift towards recognizing the value of personal authenticity and the importance of standing up for one's own rights. Her narrative speaks to the heart of modern struggles for equality and self-expression, offering a powerful icon for those navigating their own paths in a rapidly changing world. Personal reflections on Lilith's story also reveal how her myth serves as a mirror for our collective fears and aspirations. Her defiance and subsequent exile highlight the emotional turbulence of standing up against powerful forces, resonating with anyone who has faced rejection or adversity in their pursuit of personal truth. Her strength in the face of such challenges serves as a powerful reminder that resilience and courage can lead to profound personal transformation and growth. The evolving interpretations of Lilith's character continue to offer new insights and inspirations for those who seek to connect with her story. Whether viewed as a symbol of feminine strength, personal empowerment, or the struggle against societal constraints, Lilith's legacy remains a powerful source of reflection and guidance. Her tale invites us to confront our own fears, embrace our true selves, and find the courage to stand firm in the face of adversity. In the end, Lilith's significance transcends time and tradition, touching on the universal themes of autonomy, resilience, and self-discovery. Her story is a poignant reminder of the strength required to defy expectations and embrace one's own path. As her myth continues to resonate in personal reflections and modern interpretations, Lilith stands as a powerful emblem of the enduring quest for self-empowerment and the courage to live authentically. Lilith's story is like a haunting melody that echoes through the ages, her legacy a powerful testament to the complexities of the human spirit. She is more than just a mythological figure, she represents a deep and stirring narrative that has left an indelible mark on culture and consciousness. Her story weaves through the fabric of various traditions, resonating with the struggles and triumphs of those who dare to defy conventions and seek their own path. From her early appearances in ancient Mesopotamian texts to her evolution in Hebrew and later mystical traditions, Lilith has embodied the clash between conformity and individuality. Her role as Adam's first wife, her defiance, and her subsequent exile reflect a timeless struggle for autonomy and self-expression. This ancient narrative has been reinterpreted countless times, yet the core themes of resistance, strength, and the quest for identity remain as relevant today as they were thousands of years ago. In every retelling, Lilith emerges as a symbol of resistance against oppression. She stands as a figure who refuses to be bound by others' expectations, a beacon for those who strive to break free from the constraints imposed upon them. This powerful imagery has found resonance in various cultural and social movements, reflecting the ongoing struggle for personal and collective freedom. Her story has inspired countless individuals to challenge the status quo, advocating for their own rights and identities. The impact of Lilith's legacy extends beyond religious texts and folklore. In literature and art, she has been depicted as a complex figure, embodying both allure and menace. Her image has captivated artists and writers who have found in her story a rich source of symbolism and emotion. Through these creative expressions, Lilith's legacy has been continually renewed, each generation finding new meanings and insights in her ancient tale. In modern times, Lilith has become a powerful symbol of female empowerment and independence. Her story resonates with contemporary struggles for gender equality and personal freedom, making her an icon for those who seek to challenge traditional roles and assert their own identities. Her presence in feminist thought and modern reinterpretations reflects a broader cultural shift towards recognizing and celebrating diverse expressions of strength and autonomy. Lilith's influence also stretches into the realms of popular culture, occult practices, and new religious movements. Her role in these areas highlights her enduring relevance and the continued fascination with her myth. As society evolves, Lilith's legacy adapts, her story providing a rich and versatile symbol for exploring themes of power, freedom, and self-determination. The emotional power of Lilith's story lies in its ability to touch on fundamental aspects of the human experience. Her defiance, her struggles, and her quest for identity echo the fears and hopes of individuals across different eras and cultures. Her legacy endures because it speaks to the universal desire for self-assertion and the courage to stand against oppressive forces. In the tapestry of human history and culture, Lilith's story is a vivid thread that continues to inspire and provoke. Her legacy is not confined to the past, but is a living, breathing part of our cultural consciousness, evolving with each new interpretation and retelling. Lilith's impact is a testament to the power of myth to capture the essence of human struggles and triumphs, making her a timeless symbol of strength and resilience.